Hello, guys, and it's been a while. Well, I'm going to be away for the next couple of weeks just to be familiar with that. I'll be in LA with soccer star Jovelic, and right after that, I'll be with my student in Vegas, Carl. So I wish him luck. I'll be there as a coach. Maybe here and there we're gonna be playing some blitz games, and certainly if I make some interesting videos, I'm going to share those with you. Position on the board is nothing else but a position of my student who's 16 years old and who didn't win but demolished no one else but Fabiano Caruana in Title Tuesday. And furthermore, he did it in Butcher the Sicilian. So let's get started for a real game and let's see what happened there. Well, Aros, I spoke about him and I even made a video about him and came with a couple of tweets online. He's extremely talented kid. He's a fantastic talent. Unfortunately or fortunately, I'm not sure which one is actually better. Himself and his parents actually they care much more about education, and I absolutely 100% confirm that choice is a better one, definitely. But I'm saying unfortunately, I have so many great chess talents who absolutely can't play and can give more to chess because they just have to go through the life and to some other areas of the life. In this case, Arvash was white. He's one of those kids and guys who's, apart from his talent, has a great working skills. He's one of the Butcher, the Sicilian guys, who absolutely has the best and tremendous score. If you know, on the Chessable, there is like a leaderboard, and he's always one of these guys on the top. Let me just show you what happened in this game, and you're gonna enjoy this one. Caruana was black, Aros was white. Aros played knight c3, knight c6, bishop b5, Azeri variation, or some of these guys call it the classic variation. Of course, you want to take on c6, and after bishop b5, threatening to take on c6 and create double pawns, Caruana played absolutely the best move, knight d4. You know that in my course, Butcher the Sicilian, I gave a very interesting choice, knight f3. Up to that moment, bishop c4 was absolutely most popular. Aros played knight f3 because he learned the analysis from the course, and just like you see, it's enough even against no one else but Caruana. So knight b5, essentially you're going to have like 50% of the games with a knight b5. And simply, if you look from a logical point of view, you're just going to realize that really knight b5 is the most logical thing. Why shouldn't I take on b5 and win the bishop pair? Well, that's how it looks, but it's not the way it really works in those cases. After knight b5, d6, Aros played d4, Caruana played a6, knight c3, c takes, and Aros capture with a queen. That's one of the highlights of this variation, capturing by queen on d4, because they don't have a possibility to harass the queen with a knight on c6. And that's one of the most important things to remember here, if you ask me. And I guess that Caruana shouldn't ask me anything about chess because he's the god of chess altogether with Magnus Carlsen. He just opted for knight f6. Don't forget, this is Title Tuesday. He's probably not interested in playing and revealing simply his top lines in this type of situations. Played knight f6, and Aros played bishop g5. We constantly kept working on Butcher the Sicilian course and those deviations and lines and improvements, and I always claim that the bishop g5 is probably the best, and there are like few small updates and upgrades of the course where I just said you just have to go with the bishop g5 and long castle. Even though I gave that as one of the lines in the course, I also spoke about hyper solid approach with short castle as well. Anyways, Arash played the best move, bishop g5, e6, long castles, bishop e7, and I remember like 2 years ago I showed him this typical pawn break with e5, recapturing by queen on e5, threatening this queen on d8, and after queen e5 they just have to go with the bishop on d7. There is one more thing in this position. It's unlikely to believe in that thing, but you're just going to be amazed with the following fact. There are only two possibilities in this position. One is queen b6 and another one is bishop d7. Only move is bishop d7, and queen b6 actually happened to me. So I had 17 games. I checked my online databases with all my valid nicknames, real ones like the Butcher on chess.com and the Butcher Maya on Lee Chess, and also those hidden nicknames, and I played 17 games. Out of 17 games, I had 14 games with the queen b6. And guess what? I had 14 wins after queen b6, because with the next move, 94, it's already plus 4.5. They can't sit and wait. They can't move the knight because you'll take on g7. They can't play castle. You'll take on f6. They gotta take. You capture. They capture. And this position is plus 4.5. I'm just briefly going to give you the analysis. More about this maybe some other time. If they go with bishop d7 to complete the development and play bishop c6, you play knight e5. This is how I already won 3 games, even official games played. So I spoke about online games. I just have to tell you that I played 3 more games in Serbian rapid tournaments like this, and I won all those 3 games. Queen f4, you're just threatening here. And when they play f6, da-da-da-da, queen g3. That's the point. That's what I miss. So you just go after the pawn on g7, and when they play g5, da-da-da-da, knight c4, you're threatening queen, your queen wants to go on c7, and you're just finding way to kill them. And that's what we do, and that's how we play against this one. Against another approach, like, hey, Maya, you want to jump with the knight on e5, let me just play f6, so you won't be able to do that. You play one very sneaky hidden move that nobody understands, and then most of these guys say like, what the hell, I don't understand the rook d3, and then you just say, baby, check, and after this, baby, check, and when you take, now you understand, baby, why do you play rook on d3 and afterwards to go on f3 to take this lady. And finally, if after queen e4 they just do something else like queen f2, you just give queen b4 check. If they go king e8, you just finish them off with queen d6. If they go like this, you just give check. If they go king g6, queen g5 mate, baby. If you go like this, queen here, and going somewhere, this is just gonna be mate, while in case of this, you're just gonna take on g7 and win the game. I showed you all the analysis, and of course, Fabiano Caruana played bishop d7. Arush played queen d4. To be honest with you, I was a little bit surprised that he went for the queen d4, because he's always perfectly booked up and he knows all his stuff. But there is a great, first of all, I have to say that he won thanks to this move, and also there is a great logic behind this move. You can play castle because he just wants to take on f6 and afterwards to take the bishop on d7. That's why Fabiano played bishop c6, Arash played queen h4, and Caruana, now his queen was under the threat. He plays the queen in safety, queen c8, and Arash is my student, so he's always looking for those kinds of crazy aggressive ideas. Knight d4, Caruana played castles, and you know how much I like rook lifting ideas where your rook just goes on either g3 or h3. That's a very nice thing. After e5, rook g3, threatening on f6, going after the king there. And after king h8, Aros played an amazing move. All these moves, more or less, were kind of logical, forced, and I see nothing bad about these ones. But now Aros just came up with amazing things, and I really have to praise his play here. He played rook e1. And you know, this game from also practical and psychological point of view, it has to show you something else. What's that? The point is that in this game, he just calculated one move deeper than Caruana. Sometimes even these guys playing blitz games, playing a big number of games, you know, they can't calculate all the time and play it. Sometimes you just have to calculate a move more than them, and it's gonna be enough to make a masterpiece, a game of your life, or to do something like that. After like he takes d4, rook e7, probably Caruana put all his hopes into very nice, seemingly very nice, knight g8, retreating the knight, threatening the rook, and threatening the knight. But actually, the real suffering and the real slashing in this game, slaying of his position and everything else starts to happen right now. Aros captures on d4 and he says, be my guest, take my rook. He played f6. But what was happening here, and what's the point if Caruana takes bishop h6 and its mate? On knight f5 you have bishop g7, and after this you can just go with just a moment, bishop g7, king g8, where is mate, bishop f6. You know, I'm looking, sorry, I'm so stupid. This one, and you gotta take this one, and then you deliver checkmate. Sorry, I get confused because I kept looking at this one, and I saw that we cannot move the queen, but actually the point is bishop h6. And this also proves the fact that I come here, you know, and just want to show you all these things, not fully prepared and just tick, clicking on my keyboard. Anyways, after queen d4, he went for f6, and now Aros continues with his amazing tactics. So what did he do here? Boom, rook g7. And now, amazing rook sacrifice. You can't take on g5 because you're just, even in the worst case scenario, you do something like this and you can win the queen at least. In case of king g7, of Caruana, would be lost after bishop f6. If this one, queen h4 is mate. If this one, check is happening. And after this, this is mate. And after king e8, this is one move or two moves from mate, because queen e6 and knight e7 could be those two additional moves by black. Caruana after rook g7 played queen f5. And looks like position is not anymore that bright for him. And we're really wondering what's going to happen in this position. And all of a sudden, boom, rook g8. Rook takes g8, moving the defender and forcing the king to go there. Simply, they can't take by rook because this is checkmate. While in case of rook g8, bishop takes f6, goes with check. And after this, of course, in case of this, he would just come up with this type of mate. You will rarely see, even in blitz games, that Caruana was badly bidden like this, and all the time some beautiful mates all over the board, and especially Butcher the Sicilian. So after queen g6, Aros captured, and now cold-blooded realization by Aros. He first gave check, then he went here, then put the queen on g3, threatening on g6. Caruana defended, played knight e5 to enter with the knight, and after knight e7 won the game. You just have to admit whether you like Butcher the Sicilian or not, whether you like me as a coach or not, whether you like the play of white or not. This was such a fantastic game, full of tactics, full of interesting moves, not interesting, actually top moves by white all the time. I checked afterwards the game. He didn't play the most precise all the time, but I really wanted to share this. He's a young guy. He deserves this. Fabiano Caruana is one of the best players in the world, and definitely it's always such a nice pleasure for you as a coach when your students, especially these young talented ones, beat up one of the best players in the history of this game. Thanks for watching, and with more of these news and games, I hope I'll come from LA and Vegas. Stay on the channel.